foremost, I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders and great notes on you on Tuesday. And Holy Colorado to the elect. There's another camp day through the Spirit Project. How about you now, shine? And we just open up and let the scriptures speak. You know, this is Second Ezra chapter 2 and verse 33. I Ezra received a charge of Yahweh upon Mount Horeb that I should go into Israel, but when I came unto them, they set me a knot and despised the commandment of the Lord. And this is what 2/3 of our people do. All right, we go out there and preach and teach as such as I am today. All right, you got our people rejecting the Lord, man. That's what they're ultimately doing, you know. 2/3 of our people, those that are destined for some form of destruction, all right, whether it be by thermonuclear missile, by famine, by the sword, okay, by pestilence and diseases, because that's all what the Lord is bringing to this place, okay. And within those things that I just mentioned, 2/3 of our people are going to die because they are blatantly directing the Lord when they come across this truth in one shape, form, or fashion. Whether you're sitting in the car and you're looking at somebody preach and teach, whether you see it on TikTok and you mock and scoff, or you see it on the internet in some way, shape, form, or fashion, you reject the Lord if you don't accept what it is that He has to say to you. And the main thing that the Lord is saying to you, tribes, is to repent. Turn back unto Him, because guess what's coming? Death and destruction is coming. Pestilence is coming. Evil is coming. And what does evil mean? Evil just means bad time. Okay? All right, let's look that up. What's up, sir? Evil. It says evil, bad, vicious, ill. This is in the adjective sense, okay? And the times are going to be bad. The times are going to be vicious. People are going to be ill. People are going to be more wicked than what they are today, okay? All right? It says anything that causes injury, morally or physically, okay? And the times that's coming, they're going to cause injury morally and or physically, okay? Because people are going to have to decide whether they're going to choose the Lord or they're going to choose the world, all right? And only the elect is going to choose the world. Salakia, only the elect is going to choose the Lord, while the rest of the world chooses the world. And they're going to have to make this selection based on that MOTB that's coming, okay? That mark of the beast that's coming, all right? People are going to have to either take that or die. All right, and those that are of the Lord's elect that listened and heard this word, they're gonna receive this word and follow the instructions of the Lord. Because once those RFID chips come out and people can't feed their family, guess what? Jake is gonna be clinging to that, all right? Because they're not gonna have anything, and all the things that they have is gonna be taken away or being threatened to be taken away. Okay, all right, and it starts with your liberties, all right. But this is Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16. It says here, and He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right, and those individuals that partake in receiving this MARK from this beast system, from this beast man, all right, to continue to participate in this beast system, okay, all right, they're going to be missile food, literally missile food. The Lord's going to destroy them by fire, all right. This is what Revelation 14 says. This is Revelation 14 and 9. It says here, 14 and 6, and I shall fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation and kindred and tongue and people. Why is that? Because the Lord's people are scattered. And the Lord is allowing this word to come out via His prophets, and the angels of the Lord are working on the minds of the men to go out there and preach and teach. All right. So as that word is being put forth to the nation of Israel, all right, guess what's happening? The elect is being sealed. Guess what else is happening? The people that are supposed to reject the words of the Lord are rejecting the words of the Lord. Like I was setting up or whatever, this Edomite man, right? So-called white man, he saw my sign where it says, this image, this is the devil, this image is not biblical, all right? He's looking at me, staring at me while he's backing out, shaking his head like I'm doing something wrong to him. But all this sign is doing is depicting the truth, and he's mad about it. Okay, and that's a good thing. All right. May the Lord destroy that man with a missile. Okay, if that's the worst thing that can happen to him. Okay, and let him be my slave in the kingdom. All right. But 2/3 of our people, they're gonna reject this truth, man. They're gonna look at this sign and say, "Not my Jesus." All right. I picture the so-called black woman saying that. Okay. All right. Nonetheless, those that having the everlasting gospel preached unto them and they receive it, that Lord will they be of the elect that endure to the end. Because like it says in Matthew the 24th chapter, those that endure to the end, the same shall be saved. And then to endure something, you're gonna have to go through ups and downs, trials and tribulations, good times, bad times, okay? And you have to endure the bad times, okay? Because that's what's coming. All right. It says here, verse 7, for with a loud voice, saying with a loud voice, fear Yahweh and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven and earth and the sea and the foundations of waters, the fountains of waters. And our people aren't going to do that. 2/3 of our people are going to worship this beast system because, like I just mentioned, all the dainties that they have may be taken away. They may not have any means to feed their family. All right. Uh, they may not have any means to feed their family. Let me cover this up so it don't overheat. They may not have any means to feed their family. All right. Um, Social benefits are going to change as far as what is it that the what is it, the welfare system, that shit is going to change. Okay. All right. There's a lot of things that's going to happen that's going to cause people to want to take that mark of the beast. Okay. And for you that listening and or can hear, don't take that mark of the beast because you're going to be caught up in thermonuclear fire. Okay. All right. Thus saith the Bible. This is Revelation 14. Going back into verse 7, it says, saying with a loud voice, fear power, his name is Yahweh, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come. And what's that judgment going to be? The destruction of America, all right? The destruction of 2/3 of our people, the destruction of the wicked, okay? And like you see in instances where there's war going on now, you can look at buildings being thrown down. You can look at people being under rubble, and they saying in the news they try to find survivors. All right. Don't forget that there's going to be diverse earthquakes everywhere that's going to cause a shakeup and stuff. And don't think that when those thermonuclear missiles get hit over there, it's not going to wake up that volcano in Yellowstone. Okay, that's another problem that people are going to have to look out for. All right. And as these problems arise, okay, as these problems arise, guess what? The elect is going to be delivered, man. All right. Those that hearken unto the Lord, they're going to be delivered. But those that don't hearken unto the Lord, you're going to be destroyed, man. Okay. This is Revelation 14. And 8, it says, and there followed another saying, Babylon is fallen, the great city, because she made all nations to drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. All right, and how does that go about? The military, the petrodollar, okay? That is two ways how America is allowing, or is being allowed to get these nations engulfed within its wickedness, okay? All right, I'm trying to. It keeps blowing off, All right. It says here, slightest little wind. You're not gonna be able to see my face. That's not the point. But I'm trying to keep the sun from overheating my phone. Just listen to the word. That's all that's important. All right, if it ain't one problem, it's another, man. Gotta get a new camera stand. Shit. All right, Salakia. If it fucking turns off, it just turns off. You can't do anything about it. All right, because it's distracting me from preaching. It says here, Revelations 14 and 8, it says, and there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. All right, and Babylon is going to fall by the destruction of the Lord, by the hand of the Lord, summoning the destruction on this place, okay, or bringing forth the destruction on this place via war, via thermonuclear missiles from the war, via pestilence, via diseases, via famine, okay, all right. All these things are going to come upon America, man, all right. It says here, let me see what they got. Let me look up that word falling, okay. This is fallen in the etymology online. It says morally ruined. It says here, the verb says to fall. It says to drop from a height, fall, decay, die. All right, and this America is here. If you read in Obadiah, where it says that thou hast made thy nest in the stars. The Lord will bring you down. All right, let me see. Let me read that. What will it do? That in Obadiah. This is Obadiah chapter 1, verse 3. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? All right, this is a very proud nation. This is a very proud man, okay? And to be fallen means to fall is to come from a certain height. America is here, all right, and you can see economically and morally it's decaying. You can see the people are not united as they say they want to be, okay, or as they claim they are, all right. You can see the different, political parties and subcategories of those political parties. They are divided amongst each other. This is not a United States. Even the states have different laws and regulations aside from the whole government as a whole. So the states are not even united, right? This is verse 4. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, and thou and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh. And the Lord's going to bring you down via this word being preached and taught unto the Lord's people. Then the destruction is going to come after the elected seal. Because guess where they said that at? In Revelation the 7th chapter. Let's get that. This is Revelation 7:1. It says, and after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. And that's going into the thermonuclear missile, okay? It says here, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. And the Lord is working on that now as we speak. This word is going out, man. This truth is going out, and it's going out to the point where, as I was mentioning earlier, I had an Edomite backing out the parking spot he was in, looking me down, looking at the sign where it has his sweet Jesus with the devil horns on it, because this is a deceiving picture, all right? Because this is a deceiving image, okay? He was shaking his head. He looked frustrated. He looked angry. He looked upset. He looked at me like I was doing something wrong. But his people have done something wrong when they opened up the books of the Lord and painted themselves to be the Lord. All right? I know I'm jumping around. I think it's in the book of Job. I ain't read it in a while. Or Job 9 and 24. Probably 4 and 21, but I haven't read it in a while. So this is Job chapter 9 and verse 24. It says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judge thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right, we know where Esau Edom is. All right, he's here in America. All right, around the 1400s. All right, when he came back into power during the Renaissance era, he made this image. Pope Alexander VI's son was painted as, who they call Jesus, who the world calls Jesus Christ, in the form of a white man, when the scriptures say something totally different, okay? This is the book of Maccabees. This is the book of Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 48. It says, and laid open the book of the law wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their image. All right, they took their image, they took the image of the Lord and painted themselves to be as what the Lord looked like. Okay, all right, and that's false, man. The Lord is not no so-called white man. All right, the Lord does not in any fashion resemble Edomite, and will never that this image is a false image, man. I just gave you some precepts on how you can determine that this is a false image, okay? All right? But going back to Revelation 14:9, and this is one reason why America is going to be destroyed, because of the idolatry that is promoted amongst the Lord's people. All right? It says here, verse 9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. So those that want to keep their lifestyle here in America, you can see it's all going to shit. You can see politically and geopolitically, America is losing. You can see economically, America is losing. You can see morally, America is losing. But since you want to keep that glimmer of hope, that's the way you got a good job, you make a good money, you have a good this, and you have a good that. If you are caught up in that mindset, if I have this and I have that, I'm not willing to let it go, you're going to put your hand out for that chip. And when you put your hand out for that chip, you're going to be missile food. Literally, I'm reading about it, okay? And this is what 2/3 of our people, you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native American Indians don't want to hear. You don't want to hear this because it's taking you away from your comfort zone, to put you in a difficult situation, because we're going to be put in difficult situations. All right, our people are going to hate us. Our own people are going to hate us. The people of the world are going to hate us, and these are all good things, okay? These are all good things, because if they hated the Lord like they do, they're going to hate you because you're coming in the same state as the Lord. All right? It says here, verse 11, and the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints, and here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shai. You got a question?
No, I'm listening.
Oh, okay, cool. All right. So that's what's going to happen to 2/3 of our people and those that take this CHIP that's coming. All right. When the economic constraints of America get worse and worse, and the only thing that they can offer to you is a universal basic income, that universal basic income is going to come behind that microchip. Okay. And that microchip is going to get a lot of you jakes destroyed. All right. Because y'all want to hold on to something that's dying. Okay. The system is dying. America is dying. All right. Let me go back to 2nd Esdras. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 2. And I'm going to start at 33 again. I, Esdras, received a charge of Yahweh upon Mount Horeb that I should go unto Israel. But when I came unto them, they set me at naught and despised the commandment of Yahweh. And therefore I say unto you, O ye heathen, that hear and understand, look for your shepherd, he will give you everlasting rest, for he is nigh at hand, that shall come in the end of the world. All right, and this heathen doesn't mean other nations. This heathen that is talking about are Israelites that were in the mindset of other individuals. Okay, all right. And the Lord, he's coming. We are in the end of the world. The end of this age is vastly coming upon us. Okay, the scriptures say here in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 1, it says here, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I will answer when I am reproved. And Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. So prophecies will speak at the end. America getting in this battle with Iran, all right, it's part of biblical prophecy, okay, all right. It says here, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. All right, when something tarries, that means it's taking a long time, or it's taking a certain amount of time. Okay? Well, the things that we are waiting on is not taken forever. The things that we are waiting on are coming sooner than what we believe. Okay? Let me get that word Terry. Because if you consider yourself to be an Israelite, all right, if you are a so-called Native American, Indian, Black, or Hispanic individual, this message is for you. All right, your salvation is nearer than when you believe. All right, the word Terry.
Satan, get thee behind us.
What's that?
Satan, get thee behind us because he's interrupted.
Oh, what?
Yeah, because there was a pause in the reading.
Oh yeah. I'm trying to get a definition for a word.
So, and you're right, but Jesus was a spiritual birth. Okay, he's from northeastern Africa, Egypt. Okay, if he was white, Caucasian, okay, he'd be burnt like fried chicken.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
believe.
Like fried
Hey,
chicken.
the first race on the planet was the black race.
Yeah, that's true.
Africa is the last undeveloped third world nation. It was hypersonic flight. Do you know you're going to be able to fly from LAX to Japan in like 3.5 hours? The world is already shrinking. And then you get those planes, you don't have to worry about you're going to send them to the prom and they're going to say, don't fly over to Hawaii for the after party. Yeah, hypersonic flight.
That may come, and that's fine if it does, but the type of
the world is shrinking.
Yeah, the world is going to shit.
I'm saying it's shrinking.
It's going to shit.
But sir, you may as well know this too, Timothy, that in the last days it's going to be very hard to be a Christian. For men will love only themselves and money. They'll be disobedient to authorities, disrespectful to their parents, prideful, envious, greedy, unthankful, unholy. Yes, Timothy, they will go to church, but they really won't believe anything they hear, have nothing to do with such people. Faith comes through hearing the word of the Lord.
Yeah.
So now, I didn't do this last night. When I read the Bible, I read it, I didn't speak it. When you read the Bible, you have to read it out loud because faith comes through hearing.
That's true. The scripture do faith.
I want to stay here, sir.
But you
will
free
you
to
be
stay
here every day?
I'm here every Wednesday and Friday.
All right. I've got business down here on Friday.
All right. The word says here for Terry is maha. All right. This is maha. And it says here to linger, tarry, wait, delay. All right. Prophecies are not going to delay. Prophecies are not going to wait and linger. Okay. All right. Prophecies are not going to do anything but what the Lord commands it to do. All right. And the prophecies are coming through, man. Things are going to start happening at a rapid pace. Okay. All right. Let me get this in Ezekiel because I thought about this as I was reading. That this is Ezekiel chapter 12 and verse. Let me make sure it's not overreading. All right. This is Ezekiel chapter 12 and verse 23. No, 22. It says, "Son of man, what is that proverb that you hear in the land of Israel saying, the days are prolonged and every vision faileth?" That's what you hear 2/3 of our people say. All right. People bugged out here, man. People bugged out everywhere, man. But nonetheless, all right. It says here, verse 23, "Tell them, therefore, thus saith Yahweh power, I will make this proverb to cease, and they shall no more use it as a proverb in Israel, but say unto them, the days are at hand and the effect of every vision." All right. So guess what? When it says for effect, it says fulfillment. All right. And these visions go into the things that the Lord has put in the minds of the prophets to see in their sleep, or putting them in a trance and then going out there to speak about it. Okay. All right. These visions from the Lord are going to come to pass. These visions from the Lord are part of prophecy. And the way that we understand it and see it now is via the Holy Scriptures, okay? All right? It's via the Lord putting the Holy Spirit on you to listen to the men of Great Millstone, okay? And to allow them to tell you the basics, and then you grow from there, okay? And your growth from there depends on you and your relationship that the Lord has established for you with him at the beginning of the world, man. Okay? All right? You're not going to be able to over exceed what it is that has been set up for you to exceed at. Okay? All right? So what your lot is or your measure is in life, that's what you're going to fulfill. Okay? All right? And if it's for you to fulfill being of the elect and or being a teacher or a preacher of this word, then that's the Lord's will. But first, you got to be able to understand it. And if you are able to understand it, then get out there and go teach, because you should want the world to end just as much as the next man that believes in you. How about Shema Al Shah? Okay. Phone ain't overheated yet, so will it don't. All right. You should want this place to end as much as the next man. Okay. All right. Let me go back to Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel 12 and 24. For there shall be no more any vain vision nor flattering divination within the house of Israel. All right, meaning false prophets saying the things that they're saying. All right. The Lord's going to put them to death like the Lord put the false prophet to death in the book of Jeremiah. I can't remember his name. All right, but let me find it. That's a good example of what's going to happen to people that lie about what the word of the Lord is saying. All right. It's in Jeremiah, the 23rd chapter. Let me read a little bit of it. This is Jeremiah chapter 23. Verse 9, it says, mine heart within me is broken because of the prophets. All my bones shake. I am like a drunken man, and like a man whom wine hath overcome because of Yahweh and because of the words of his holiness. For the land is full of adulterers, for because of swearing the land mourneth. The pleasant places of the wilderness are dried up, and their course is evil, and their force is not right. For both the prophet and the priest are profane. Yea, in my house have I found their wickedness, saith Yahweh. All right. And it goes into speaking of things falsely. All right. Let me see. Is this the one where the prophet? Let me keep reading. It says, wherefore, no, verse 12, wherefore their ways shall be unto them as slippery ways in the darkness, they shall be driven, all right, still on. They shall be driven on and fall therein. For I will bring evil upon them, even the year of their visitation, saith Yahweh. And that word visitation goes into punishment. And I have seen the folly in the prophets of Samaria. They prophesied in Baal and caused my people Israel to err. And this is what these church pastors do. This is what these Hebrew Israelites that don't teach you the truth is, such as the names of the Lord, such as teaching you that John the Baptist wasn't in the truth. Okay, all right. Such as teaching you the microchip is not the mark of the beast. Okay, and there are many other instances where you can see that individuals do not have it all wrapped tight together through Yahweh Shem Shah, through the Holy Spirit, man. Okay? All right? It says here, I have seen also the prophets of Jerusalem. This is talking about the southern kingdom. A horrible thing. They have committed adultery and walk in lies. They strengthen also the hands of evildoers, that none doth return from his wickedness. They are all of them unto me as Sodom and the inhabitants of Gomorrah. And what did the Lord do to that place? He destroyed it with fire. All right. Verse 15. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh of hosts concerning the prophets, behold, I will feed them with wormwood and make them drink the water of gall. For from the prophets of Jerusalem is profaneness gone forth into all the land. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, hearken not unto the words of the prophets that prophesy unto you. They make you vain. They speak a vision of their own heart, and not out of the mouth of Yahweh. They say still unto them that despise me, Yahweh hath said, ye shall have peace, and ye shall and they say unto everyone that walketh after the imagination of his own heart, no evil shall come unto you. And that's what 2/3 of our people hearken unto. And this is the same shit that our people hearken to when they end up in these churches, man, in these harlot houses, okay? All right, you got your kids going there because you went there, because your parents took you there, because their parents took them there, because they went there. All right, it's a tradition, all right? But those traditions have to be broken, and it starts with you, all right? Those that partake and hear this word and believe, you're going to change forth your actions. Just like that bug out that was up here, this guy that was just up here, he was saying faith comes by hearing, right? And he also says something in regards to action, all right? You got to take action, all right? You got to take action, because if you don't take action, how you going to show that you believe? You can just say that you believe, but is anybody going to believe that you believe? What are you going to do to show the Lord you believe? Don't worry about what you make. You're here to please the Lord, not man. All right, yeah, you're here to please the Lord, not man. All right, let me go back to Jeremiah. I wanted to get the one where the false prophet, the Lord had killed him, but I thought that was it. Let me keep reading. Verse 18, it says, for who have stood in the counsel of Yahweh and hath perceived and heard his word, who hath marked his word and heard it. Behold, a whirlwind of Yahweh is gone forth in fury, even a grievous whirlwind. It shall fall grievously upon the head of the wicked. All right, hey, that whirlwind, and this time it's going to be those thermonuclear missiles, man. All right. In the past times, there was some form of destruction that the Lord brought upon the land of Israel, man. And that land, the destruction that was brought forth upon the land of Israel was by the hands of the other nations and their armies besieging the land, okay? And taking the people into captivity and taking them out of the land, okay? This is how you ended up in America at the end of the day, okay? All right? The anger of Yahweh shall not return until he have executed and until he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days, ye shall consider it perfectly, and this is the time to consider it. These are the latter days, okay? And after what it really meant is, hey, you know, those that was able to make it into the captivity or make it through the destruction and escape. Now, those individuals in that time, they probably consider or took it to heart, like, hey, why did this happen? Or this happened because of X, Y, and Z. Okay? Well, things like this are happening because we have transgressed the ways of the Lord. And the Lord is going to pay back those that transgressed his ways. And those that are continually transgressing his ways, of course, are the wicked, but more importantly, to understand is 2/3 of the Lord's people. Those were the ones that was given the law, statutes, and commandments. Okay? Verse 21, it says, I have not sent these prophets, yet they run. I have not spoken to them, yet they have prophesied. But if they stood in my counsel and had caused my people to hear my words, then they should have turned them from their evil way and from their evil doing. Yeah, exactly. So if you are a prophet and you're prophesying, you're not going to sit out here and come out here and tell your people to continue to live in the forms of idolatry, all right, adultery, any form of wickedness, you know, whether it's eating abominable foods, you're going to tell your people to stop doing those things, all right? Homosexuality, you're going to tell your people to stop doing those things, all right? Because the whole point is to have your people turn away from wickedness, because wickedness is what got us in the positions that we are in today here in America, Okay? All right? It says, I am a power at hand, saith Yahweh, not a power afar off. Can any hide himself in secret places that I see him not? Well, that's true. The Lord can see anything and everybody, because if you read in the book of Ezekiel, the Lord was showing Ezekiel all the wickedness that the priests and the prophets, all the priests and those individuals in high seats were doing behind closed doors. And what they were doing, they were idol worship. Okay? It says here, verse 25, it says, I have heard what the prophets said. They prophesied lies in my name, saying, I have dreamed, I have dreamed, I have dreamed. How long shall this be in the heart of the prophets that prophesy lies? Yea, they are prophets of the deceit of their own hearts, which think to cause my people to forget my name by their dreams, which they tell every man to his neighbor, and as their fathers have forgotten my name for Baal. So forgetting what the Lord has done for you, forgetting how he brought you out of the land of Egypt, forgetting how he called you to be his people. This is what false prophets have done to our people. They have you calling on Jesus. Right? They have you going into these whorehouses, these churches, telling you that, and you can, it's plain as day. You can look on social media all day. TikTok, Facebook, whatever you want to look at, X or Twitter, whatever it was formerly called, Instagram, and you can see how all these church pastors, all they're doing is giving you a good spoken word for your hard-earned money. Okay? I just seen a video where one of the pastors was telling the people that he want to see their tax forms to make sure that they give an amount, the correct amount for tithes and offerings, man, and tithes and offerings. Then I seen another video where a woman's parents, mom, dad, whomever, grandparents, whatever, it doesn't matter, had died, and they've been members of this church for 50-something odd years, and the pastor won't even do a service for that family that's been giving thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars to that church for years. He won't do a service for them for free. The lady got on there and said that he asked for $800 to do the service. When that person did get that family, that man and or that woman, whoever passed, that man or that woman, their grandparents or parents, whatever, that passed, they've been giving money to that church for, she said, for years. So you can see that it's just a money ring, man. They will prophesy to you lies and tell you sweet things, man. Get up out of them churches, man. All right? They made you forget the name of the Lord. They give you that prosperity doctrine. Let me look that up. How about you outside? It's 441. Nonetheless, let's look up prosperity doctrine. It says prosperity theology, or the gospel, or the prosperity gospel, is a religious belief common among some charismatic Christians that financial blessings and physical well-being are always God's will for believers. It teaches that faith, positive confession, and donations to a religious cause, often called seed faith, guarantee material prosperity, blending faith with financial success and equating material wealth with a divine favor. All right, damn, that's scripture. I can't remember it, but it's something about. Let me see if I can find it based on the word favor. Let me see. I can't find what I'm looking for. All right, this is 1 Timothy 6:6. This is the real game right here. Not that prosperity bullshit that they teach, they're preaching into the Lord's people, which have them forget his way. All right, this is 1 Timothy 6:6. It says here, who's it 1 Timothy? Yeah, I'm in the 6th chapter. I'm not in the 6th chapter. This is 1 Timothy chapter 6:6. It says, but godliness with contentment is great gain. So be content with what you have, right? So this is what it says here. Just Googled it. It says, godliness with content is great gain. Based on 1 Timothy 6:6, it says, means that finding inner satisfaction through a deep relationship with Yahweh is more valuable than pursuing material wealth. Material wealth is going to be destroyed by fire anyway, right? It says here that this approach promises peace, joy, and eternal perspective rather than financial riches, all right? And then it says here, true wealth is contentment. It is not about acquiring possessions, but having a satisfied heart with what one has, even with just basic necessities. And if you get your basic necessities, guess what that is part of? That's part of your daily bread, man. Part of the Lord's Prayer says, give us now our daily bread and forgive us our trespasses, okay? It says here, inner versus external. Godly gain is spiritual and inward, contrasting with the temptations to use religion for financial profit. And that's what prosperity doctrine is, okay? Just going back into that prosperity doctrine, it says, give to get. Believers are encouraged to donate money to ministers to unlock God's financial blessings, believing that generosity directly causes material returns. Well, that's not the case. All right? Name it and claim it. This involves using faith to command physical health and monetary wealth to become reality, often through positive confession and speech. That's that manifestation shit. Okay? All right, here we go. Common critics and controversy. Common critiques and controversy. It says misleading teachings. It says critics often label doctrine as a false gospel that overemphasizes material gain, contradicting biblical teaching about humanity, suffering, and contentment. Yeah, because we're here in our captivity, man. All right, we are here in our captivity. Let me get that. I think it's in the root. Let me see. I can't find it. Let me find it. This is Baruch chapter 3. I'm going to start at 1. The point is at 8. It says, O Yahweh Almighty, power of Israel, the soul in anguish, the troubled spirit, crieth unto thee. And the elect is doing that because many reasons of being deceived, okay? Many reasons because of the wickedness that's going on in the world. Just to sum it up, man, you know. It says, hear, O Yahweh, and have mercy, for thou art merciful, and have pity upon us, because we have sinned before thee. For thou endurest forever, and we perish utterly. O Yahweh, thou power of Israel, hear now the prayers of the dead Israelites, and of their children who have sinned before thee, and not hearken unto the voice of thee, their power, for which cause the plagues cleave unto us. For Jake not listening to the prophets of the Lord, listening to false prophets, listening to that prosperity doctrine, okay? When you're in slavery, you're in chattel slavery. You're not in chattel slavery. You're still in slavery. You're not in hardcore slavery, but you're still in slavery, man. You're still subject unto the ways of Esau. You're still subject unto the flesh, okay? All right. It says here, remember not the iniquities of our forefathers, but think upon thy power and thy name at this time. For thou art the power, Yahweh, our power, and thee, O Yahweh, we will praise. It says here, and for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity. This is what should be happening right now amongst you jakes, man. The Lord is putting his name out there via the prophets. The Lord is putting his name out here via the things that you understand that you've seen is happening, like an example. The other day I saw a video where parents left their kid outside to go play basketball, 6 years old. He ran out into the street to go get the ball, and he got hit by a car. And guess who it was by? A so-called black woman who did not have a driver's, who was driving on a suspended license, right? And it was revoked or suspended, one of the two, okay? And then on top of that, on her car, all right? But that's judgment from the Lord. I kind of got a little emotional about it, but then I had to snap back into reality. I was like, this kid did something against the Lord, so he had to pay for it. All right, I've done something against the Lord. You've done something against the Lord, so you have to pay for it. And Lord, your punishment, your judgment, let me say that, will be that you can be delivered from the coming destruction, because the Lord is merciful, like I was just able to read. Okay? But those things that you see should cause you to fear the Lord, because if you understand that the Lord is here to bring forth, put justice and put things right in the world, wickedness has to be expunged. And the wickedness that's going to be expunged is going to start with Esau, Edom, 2/3 of our people in these other nations, man. Okay? The wickedness is going to be expunged in that manner. Okay? All right? It says here, verse 7 again, and for this cause thou hast put thy fear in our hearts, to the intent that we should call upon thy name and praise thee in our captivity. For we have called to mind all the iniquity of our forefathers that sinned before thee. Then I just read something about Jake recalling to mind why they're going through the trials and tribulations that they're going through. I think it was in Ezekiel. All right, let me see. I ain't finished reading Ezekiel. No, it wasn't Ezekiel, it was Jeremiah. Jeremiah 23. Oh yeah, this is Jeremiah 23:20. The anger of Yahweh shall not return until he have executed, until he have performed the thoughts of his heart. In the latter days ye shall consider it perfectly. All right, that links up. Okay, I had a pen, I write it down. Right, nonetheless, verse 8 is the point. Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which have departed from Yahweh our power. Hear, Israel, the commandments of life, give and wisdom. And wisdom comes the true Lord.